Bzz. Hello everybody, welcome to another Digimon trading card game video, and this video is about what color you should play if you're a beginner to the Digimon trading card game. And so this video is meant to be more about maybe what color you might want to play. Maybe you've learned to play a little bit, but you still are not sure what color you might want to go with. This video is meant to help you with that choice by telling you about each individual color's strengths and weaknesses and play style and things like that. So why don't we go ahead and get started with our first color, which is of course going to be red. So this one, uh, red is very much about dragons and fire. Pretty much every card that's in the red stack of cards has something dragon, like a dragon or fire in it. So you can see the Greymons, for example, are very good dragons of fire, and their style is very aggressive. So red decks attack checking multiple cards. If you know how to play the game already, you know the DP is important. You want to have a high DP so that you don't get deleted if you hit something in security that's stronger. So red cards are really good at grabbing additional security checks, checking more cards, ending the game faster, increasing their DP so that you can swing or attack with stronger Digimon. Or also, you can have some deletion effects. Sometimes Red really likes to take Digimon off the board. That's a really good thing about Red is that you can be aggressive, you can delete, you can, if you have a really good stack of Red Digimon, like a Digivolution uh, tower, you can check multiple cards and have a really high DP, making it really difficult for your opponent to counter you on that form. So red, very aggressive. If you like to be aggressive, you can go red. Red is pretty popular. Lots of people like to be very aggressive. Second, we have our blue decks or cards. Usually, cards that are blue have this ice or water um, theme to them. Of course, if the Digimon is blue, that helps a lot, of course. And blue as a color is very much about field manipulation or controlling your opponent. So, a lot of the abilities that it likes to use is to bounce, which just simply means to send back the cards that your opponent has played to their hand, or it likes to unsuspend itself. For example, a Digimon will attack, check security, and it becomes suspended. If that Digimon becomes unsuspended, which is one of the abilities that Blue is able to do a lot, it can go ahead and attack again. This can be pretty strong. And last but not least, Blue is also known for its stunning capabilities, keeping your opponent from blocking or attacking. That can be pretty strong. It can keep your opponent from doing what they want to do, and you are basically in control if you can get a lot of these abilities off. Now, these are not the only abilities that Blue has. Blue has quite a bit still going, but it has many option cards and many abilities that it can get off, um, and ruin your opponent's time. Give your opponent a really hard time with memory and countering the things that they like to do. For example, right? Next, we're going to move on to the yellow cards. Yellow cards usually fit into the style or type of being holy and or lightning. Sometimes there are some like electricity or lightning inspired cards that are part of it, but mainly the playstyle is to heal or recover and reduce your opponents down to zero, which in the Digimon trading card game, if your Digimon cannot have zero, if it has zero, it is destroyed. Therefore, is one of the ways that you can get rid of your opponent's Digimon is by doing that. And of course, that is has to do with the key abilities, which are to recover security, to reduce your opponent's DP. There are many abilities that reduce your opponent's DP, making the Digimon weaker. You can also reduce opponent's security checks. So kind of like how red likes to increase the amount of security checks that it gets, yellow likes to decrease and make your opponent not be able to check your security. I will say that, of course, a Digimon can attack into another Digimon, and it doesn't require a security check. It can still attack and get when attacking abilities off. However, they would not check a security card if their security checks are at zero. Next, we're moving on to green. One of my personal favorites, and green cards usually um, are insect types, plant types, or nature types. All of the green ones are usually something that fits into that mold. And what it does, what it likes to do is that it likes to digivolve for cheap so that you can get up to your boss monster really quick, or just put down a bunch of bodies that you can throw at your opponent. Some of the key abilities is that green likes to suspend. There are many cards in the green decks that, if your opponent has their Digimon standing, means you can't attack them. You could use your ability to suspend them, and then they become vulnerable to your attack. Um, you also have a lot of abilities that reduce Digivolution cost. Hidden Potential Discovered is a very key card, limited to one, that lets you Digivolve for free if you suspend your own Digimon. Or there's also things like Digiabsorb that are very much similar. And of course, you can also get Piercing, so you can destroy your opponent's Digimon and still check security cards if your Digimon that's attacking has Piercing. A very powerful ability in the right situations. You want to be able to both destroy your opponent's Digimon and check security. Piercing is capable of doing that, so it is not a bad ability to have at all. And green is one of the ones to mainly have it under its arsenal. Next, black. Black, I had a hard time defining it, but I think once I came to the conclusion of what it is, black is pretty good. So black usually stands for metal or cyborg Digimon. You usually see machines, things like that in this deck. What they do is they like to protect their Digimon, and they'll counter back depending on what the opponent has. They like to react to the opponents and punish them for what they have started to set up. Some of the key abilities, you have Blocker, very common. You have De-Digivolve, you have Reboot. All of these are strong, powerful abilities that you are able to use, that are in your possession if you are running a black deck, right? You have lots of blocker, lots of reboot, lots of Digivolution to attack your opponent with. Iron Fist, for example, is capable of destroying your opponent's multiple Digimon if they all have the same play cost, things like that. You like to protect and counter. Black is very defensive, and it likes to counter and punish your opponent. Pretty good. Last but not least, or of the main colors, we have purple. Purple cards are usually classified as being the evil or demonic ones. The way that they work is that they destroy your Digimon, your own Digimon, so that you may become stronger. So you trash your Digimon, they go to the trash, and you can work from the trash. You can Digivolve into something from the trash, or if you have a certain number of cards in your trash, you might be able to pull off some abilities that you normally wouldn't be able to. You also have Retaliation as a key ability that allows you to destroy your opponent's Digimon if they've attacked yours, or if you attacked into a stronger Digimon, for example, with a Digimon with Retaliation. So you could potentially have a very weak Digimon with Retaliation attack into a suspended, very powerful Digimon, and Retaliation means that since they destroyed them, they also become destroyed. And there's of course a lot of on deletion effects. You can draw many cards with the on deletion effect. You can have uh, you can add fuel to the fire. The longer the game goes against a purple deck, the harder a time you're going to be having, because all of these abilities just pop off the more cards there are in your opponent's in your trash. Sorry, not your opponent's trash, your own trash. You work from the trash. It's almost like a zombie situation, right? The deader they are, the stronger they come back. That's purple for you. Last but not least, I do want to talk about white, which is not really a one that you can make a deck out of. I mean, there are decks that come out of it, but you either add white cards to other decks to make them better, or you're going to be running Eosmon or D Reaper decks, which need a lot of support from other colored cards. So there are really powerful white cards, mainly Omnimons and things like that. Cool Boys White. But mainly, if you're gonna run a full deck of white, it's gonna be one of those two gimmick decks. You're not gonna run anything outside of that. So this is white is very complementary, and I think it is because you don't want your abilities to search. Like for example, if you have a red memory boost, which search for a red card, you don't want to just be able to pick up an Omnimon with that card, since Omnimon could be a key piece that destroys you. Right, you'd have to pick it up by normal drawing get around it. But yellow, I mean, I'm sorry, white is not something I'd expect a beginner to start off playing with unless they really want to be kind of trolly and play a whole Eosmon deck. Although D Reaper is pretty strong, I'll say that you could probably run a D Reaper deck and do really well because it is a strong, powerful deck, right? So that's pretty much it for the colors. all of these color different decks all play very differently, and depending on how you might want to play, you might want to mix certain colors together, right? So a lot of the cards right now, for example, Black or Greymon, those cards are both red and black. That allows them to actually be very strong, aggressively deleting your opponent's tamers, just controlling the board and countering, right? So black and red combine to make a very powerful combo set of colors. And decks that are like that will work really well, right? If you can combine colors, that usually works really well. We're at the point where Digimon decks are very much going multicolor, but knowing which color you might want to start off with may not be a bad way to start your Digimon adventure with with the trading card game, right? So thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoy this type of content, let me know by giving me a subscription or just liking the video. Either one works pretty well, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much.